All right. Hey guys, welcome to Under God Project podcast. Today we are live streaming and we're doing our first live stream. So we're excited about that. For those who are new to the podcast, welcome to Under God Project podcast. To get together, we are accelerating America to be one nation under God again. Under God Project, as the namesake says, Under God Project is a series of events, experiences, and activities for families, congregational leaders, and civil servants to invite God into our national identity. Now is the time for this generation of families this generation of biblically centered families, to secure the liberties of our next generation by establishing our families and country as one nation under God. It's a bit of an introduction, but we're happy to do it. My name is Andy. My wife Jen is part of the podcast. She's part of Under God Project, and we have a lot of people, a lot of families as part of the Under God Project family. So today, on today's stream, we've actually got it into two parts. So on today's stream, we're going to be introducing some things. And then we have an exclusive link for members that we sent out already. So feel free to for those who have the link, we'll jump over to that when we get to that point. So today we are actually introducing a couple of different things. So for those who have the app, and if you don't have it already, go ahead, download Under God Project app on the Play Store and or on the iOS store. Like I said, introduction-wise, my name is Andy, and my wife Jen. She's typically right next to me, second picture. But we're doing something live, and we're doing something a little different today. And she likes to be just right next to me on the other side. You can't see her, but I can. She's right there. The kids today are a little bit more rambunctious than they usually are. So she's in and out a little bit. So. We're going to be so what I want to introduce today. So the Under God Project, if you've been part of if you've been following us for a while, or if you're part of the Under God Project family, you're very familiar with the Under God Project in-home experience. And that in-home experience is a compact. It's a kit that you take home or that you order, and it shows up to the house. And you're able to sign your own compact and sign the same promises. It's an absolute blast. It really is. And then upload your experience on the app or on your social channels. One of the things that we wanted to provide and wanted to introduce is a coaching experience. Right now, it's not mandatory or anything, but it's an option, right? As an optional experience. What you'll see here, what we're rolling out here in the next little while, is just a calendared event where you can go on it and say, schedule my in-home compact experience, right? And what you'll do is you'll sign up for a 45-minute coach where myself or Jen or one of our other coaches will jump on we'll jump on the Zoom call or whatever meeting app it is, and then we'll host your in-home experience. And so there'll be we'll tell a story, whether it's the Mayflower Compact or from World War II or from wherever. And well, I shouldn't say wherever. I should really say like any of the places where the families have led the nation to be one nation under God, again, for their generations, where their families have secured the liberties for the next generation. So there's a lot of just really inspiring stories there that really put ourselves and our kitchen tables at the center and the heart of America's identity. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we've had some suggestions that have said, hey, why don't we do this at an event where we all can get together, et cetera, et cetera. And we said, America's identity begins and ends at the kitchen table. We've thought about that a lot, and we thought about, hey, what would it be like if we started the event, at a big group or whatever. And we didn't want the compact experience to be a souvenir, right? We didn't want the compact experience to just be that thing that you got at that one event that you went to that one time, because then you can throw it away. For those who have got the experience, you know that the compact, first of all, is something that you're going to add to, right? And it's something that you and your family are putting promises down. And then as well, it's made not only by us, the Thompson family, and I screen print it myself, and you all probably know that by now. But and if you don't, go ahead and take a look at the other videos. They're there. But then as well, other families put their promise on it as well through that seal, right? And so that's just not something that you would want to have at just a nation, a big event with thousands of people or something like that. I think there might be something else in the works down the line for something like that. And I think there might be other things that we could do. But really, the America's identity is a reflection of what we allow in our homes. And if through our homes we're allowing all these shenanigans to come through via social apps or just not paying attention to what's going on in our school systems, or not paying attention, or neglecting our responsibilities in our county, or neglecting our responsibilities in our congregations, then that's what the country's going to look like. And so we wanted to encourage families to do this in their own home. Now, every family has a different timeline, and that's one of the things that we've discovered. We thought that, we'd send it out, and every family's going to do it the moment they get it, right? And as anxious as we are to see them happen, we really don't want to get in the way of when it will happen, right? A lot of different families are going to, some of them have done it right away. Some are waiting for, their certain family members to be available so that they can all do it together, and they're building it up to this moment of perfection. Others are just like, hey, it's just been sitting in the corner there for a day or two. For a couple of days. Let's just get this done, right? And all of those answers are totally okay, right? There's no pressure there to do it whenever, because honestly, what we're creating is an heirloom for our future generations to hold on to and to look back at and say, Grandma and Grandpa, so in 50 years, right, they're going to look back at that and say, Grandma and Grandpa wanted my family to be a family under God, and I can see their signatures there. And my father tells me that stories of when they sat down, and it was frustrating and annoying and all that other stuff, but they sat down and they wrote down their promises, and you can see that it's been aged over the years, and their families have added signatures to it. So the story we're trying to tell and the memories we're trying to create are the memories that our children and our grandchildren will appreciate, right? And the compact itself is something that we see future generations looking at and continuing to hold on to in their home. And so we don't want to get in the way of that, right? And so the coaching experience there is just something that gives families a little bit of just a host, right? It's not mandatory. In fact, we're probably gonna give you only a couple of. We'll change this over the time, but we're gonna start with, hey, you get 3 chances to write to put down to cancel, right? Like you put your name on the list, and make the appointment. You get 3 opportunities to cancel that appointment. Come on, guys, getting your family together. It is tricky, it is difficult, and it is a mess, and it's frustrating. But at the same time, it's important to do that. And honestly, if we can, get our families together and go out to a movie, or if we can get our families together and we can go to an event that we would have something like this, then we can get our families together and create a memory that our next generations will look at and will have in their home. Realistically, something like this doesn't have to be super perfect. It can be if that's the type of family you are, but it also can be something that's right away and then built on over time. We've had lots of families talk about how they want to pull this down and add to it as they've learned new things, or as they've grown a little bit more, or as new people come into their home and into their lives. And so we want to encourage all of that. So we're introducing a coaching aspect. So you'll notice on the app that there'll be a little button down there that says, get your compact coach today, or sign up with your compact coach today. And so that'll be good. And you should be able to find the time. It should be about a 45-minute time block. Now that doesn't mean as well that it's only going to take 45 minutes, or even you'll take all 45 minutes. But that coach, you'll expect the coach to come in like a Zoom meeting, right? And you'll put him at the end of the table or whatever, and he'll just kind of walk you through it. Maybe they'll have some music, or again, an inspirational story. Get to know you a little bit as well. and that way you can see them face to face. And I really look forward to that, because I really look forward to meeting all of the Under God Project family members, and to see how much they've grown. Some of these are old friends of ours. And so don't feel like you got to use it, but we're excited to be able to say, hey, let's add that personal touch. And whether it's me or Jen or one of our other coaches or one of our other board members that hosts those events, that one extra step of digital touch, I think would really go a long way. And we've really thought that it could go really a long way. So I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to use it. Feel free not to use it as well. Again, it's not mandatory or anything like that, but it might add just a little bit of extra help. It's really just about the experience and the memory that you're putting together with your family, uniting your family under a common promise that families are all across America are anxious to do, and then also a space to personalize, and a space to say, these are the promises that we're making together. The Together Forevers. If it's not fun, we're not doing it. And if you've heard the podcast, you know what I'm talking about. The family mantras, the things that hold you guys together, the things that you want to make last forever. So we're really excited to announce that. We've been really thinking about it a lot, and things a good move. We're really excited about it. Again, just a 45-minute block. If it goes over, it goes over. If it goes under, it goes under. So we'll be excited to have you. And that'll probably grow and adjust over time. But I think, again, we're really excited. We're really anxious to do some of that. Oh, the other thing that we are also introducing is some courses. We have a podcast coming up here on the 14th of this month. You won't want to miss it. It's really exciting. You'll see the ads for it coming out probably next week. You won't want to miss it. But leading up to that, there'll be some pieces. So one of the things that we're also introducing is some coursework. On the app, you'll notice that there's some courses there. They look like kind of filler courses. You can tell they're filler courses because they don't have anything to do with Under God Project or S'mores and Stripes. But the course that we'll put in there, we've got it ready. We just need to hit the go button. Is how to start your family history, right? I've been doing family history. We've been doing family history almost all of our lives. We know how important it is. We know, connecting yourself to your family history. Really, I don't want to say it's cosmic, but there's really a deeper connection that you have with not just names and dates and things, but really people, and not just that they're also just people that showed up one time in history and did something interesting, but these people are your family. And so we wanted to introduce how to start your family history. There's some other things we're introducing with there. We can definitely grow from there, but there's a little course in there. Now, I haven't got the badges worked out yet, but we hope to eventually, it's on the roadmap, to be eventually putting in there like badges. And so if you're listening to this podcast and it's months from now or whenever it is, and there is a badge in there, great, earn yourself a badge. If it's not in there yet, stay tuned. It'll come. Don't worry about it. But it is on the roadmap to put badges in there and some gamification in there that just encourage completion. We're not looking to get everybody too into the app, but we are looking to encourage completing the course. But it should be pretty basic. It is pretty basic. There'll be a separate video on it, but it is pretty basic. It is pretty much like, hey, here are your platforms. Here's how you sign up for them. Here's what you're looking to do. Watch out for duplication, et cetera, et cetera. And then when you get in, there should be other courses, but we're going to just kind of open the door a little bit to, that's what we do. We open the door a little bit to say, hey, you could be related to people here, and you could be related to people here, and all that other stuff. There's only 17 generations from the first American-born family, and I think that's significant. 17. Now, we call the first American-born family the Mayflower Compact because we recognize that the Mayflower Compact was the first governing document of our constitutional republic. from there, all these other documents are either referenced or they spur from there. And so for us, that's just 17 generations. 17, 7, that's it, you know? Every time I think about that, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That can fit on a piece of paper. And it does, right? And so down the road, I want to kind of give you a sneak peek, but down the road, what's in our minds is to introduce a new wall hanging. We like wall hangings, but a new wall hanging where you're going to be able to see the 17 generations from you from whenever your family came into America to you now, right? And it should be blank, and that's what's encouraged there. That's why the coursework is there, so that you can fill those blanks in, right? We have one that I'll tell you about it later, but a little bit more about it, or showcase of those 17 generations, the missionary service and military service. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the next podcast, but I find that that's significant. You know, I think that when you can see how your family has protected freedom, protected our liberties, protected the Constitution through your military service, and then when your family has also encouraged or proliferated or preached the gospel, which gives us the ultimate freedom, we truly see the identity of America. And so, along with our compact and our walks of faith and our county compacts and our nation compacts, looking at your family from in a perspective that says my family has protected freedom and protected our liberties, and really knows what our divine identity is, and knows what our providential rights are. And then turn that around and said, and then also proliferated the gospel and preached the gospel. Now, it's okay that gospel might be, in a variety of different ways. In fact, the ones that came from the Mayflower were separatists. The ones that established the Commission of Liberty, which establishes our three branches of government. That's where the three branches of government kind of comes from. They were Quakers. William Penn. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. So that's Quaker. And so when you even look at your own family history, you can see that they have a variety of different biblically centered faiths in there, right? So my father and I were called on, and we'll get into this next. I'm trying not to tell you what I'm going to tell you next week. So that's why I'm like pausing. My father and I were called to serve in our missionary, to serve proselyting missions for Jesus Christ. We were called to serve in two different generations. We were called to serve in very similar places. So he was called to Nagoya, Japan, and I was called to Hiroshima, Japan. Very close, actually. They're very close to each other, and so we've always thought that was very interesting. And there's more to it than that. I don't want to spoil a surprise for next week, but it does have to do with Japan. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, so Jen's giving me the wave, like, hey, it's been 20 minutes, time to shut up. What we're going to do now is we're going to say thank you. We're going to say goodnight. Thank you for joining. And I hope you get a chance to use the Under God Project app, and definitely get your Under God Project experience. If it's a price that you can't afford right now, and I understand what the price is right now, if that's not something you can afford right now, it's okay. Go ahead, get on the waitlist product. That's a free product, but what that does is it signals us that you're interested and you want to get on the waitlist. Get on the waitlist. We've got lots of donors that are just waiting for people to get on the waitlist, and people don't wait very long to get their Under God Project experience. You get a little card in there that says your Under God Project experience was paid forward by so and so family, right? So we've already got donors like lined up for you. So If you can, if the price right now, the price that's posted, if the price right now is something that you can swing, that's great. In fact, if you can pay it forward, even better. But if that's not something you can do, but you still want to participate, go ahead and get yourself on the list. We'll take care of it. Okay. We want everybody to have my family under God in-home compact experience. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we want everybody to have one, and everybody that wants one to have one and sign up. So go ahead, sign up there. What we're going to do right now is my wife and I took our children to East Tennessee this past weekend. And it's a little personal, but we did have a really great experience with learning about, of all things, the Titanic. Right. We learned a lot about, as well, East Tennessee and how they participated and didn't participate in the Civil War. In a Confederate state, Tennessee provided the most volunteers to the volunteer military, like volunteer fighters, military people. I'm tripping over my words. To the Union. Right, so they were a Confederate state, and they provided the most soldiers. That's what I'm looking for, volunteer soldiers to the Union of any other Confederate states. Now, there were a lot of Confederate states that were providing soldiers to the Union. So we learned a lot about that, and I'm going to give you a teaser on that, and we'll do a question and answer about how the Titanic and about how the Civil War coincide and what the lessons we've learned there. So I encourage you to take a look at the link. If you're a member already, you've already got the link, and we'll see you on the other side. We'll be talking about our family and things over there. So we're gonna close out here, and we're gonna say, may God bless you, may God bless America, and may God bless this American family. We'll see you there.